Hello guys, my name is Dennis, I'm a bike mechanic. This is another bike tech series where I will tell you about the perfect balance between the price and the quality. I will speak about the best electric bike for its money that you can buy. So this exact model is Magnum Peak, but it's uh, not necessarily this exact model because it was unbranded bike. Magnum bought it, put its logo on it, and it's selling tires. Not necessarily to be mountain. It could be road. It is not principle. I'm talking about the concept of how the whole bike is built. So please don't look at that it has mountain tires or the road one, because it's those details you can choose. Depends on the bike. So going from top, nice display in the center with a lot of data. You can also change settings there. You just need to dial a sequence of combination. Hydraulic brakes, please know that those are tactile brakes. I really love them. Those are made out of aluminum and have very small travel. This is some no-name brake. Customer brought it in. He's a short guy. His hands are not really long, so as he grabs them, you see that? And I put there a new brake pads, and brakes are still not working. Look at this. Just look at that. Next, electrical system. All cables are going into the display. This is the brake one and the second brake cable. Not all the bikes have dual brake signals. Some of them have just one brake signal, and the second brake is just as a regular brake. But they're all coming into the display, and then here is a single cable, single wire harness that is going into the controller, which is really good. On some cheap bikes, all those cables from brake and from display, from control, from throttle, a whole bunch of wires are going into the controller and in case if you need to change the throttle, for instance, display, whatever, you need to unwind all the cables. Things are going even worse if these whole bunch of cables are going through the frame, so it takes way more time versus here. Here it's very simple. Single cable goes into the controller. Another point is this controller is sealed. Very clear. You don't see anything here, but if you take this cover off, you will see that the whole controller is sealed, so no water will get there. Next point. This is pedal sensor. It is working in the same way as this one. Same ring but smaller. This ring is usually installed on the other side, but the principle is the same. Magnet disc is passing magnet sensor. 8-speed cassette. Okay, it could be 9. 8-speed is acceptable. 11 cog, the smallest chainring. Actually, it's not a cassette, it is a freewheel. But some cheap freewheels, they end up with like 13 cogs, which are limiting the pedal assist on your bike. Another point I would like to mention is that you see this rim is really thick. It has two walls. This is the first wall and the second is inside. Those are really strong rims. And you see this? That's anti-rotational plate. I saw some bikes without it. Sometimes it happens that those nuts become loose if you don't tighten them enough, and as a result the motor may spin through in dropouts. As a result, when that happens, it will wind up this cable and rip it off, and you will most likely ruin your motor as well as the frame of the bike. So this anti-rotational mechanism is really important. This bike is giving 20 miles an hour just on a throttle, and if you change level to 6 and start spinning pedals, then it will give you 26 miles an hour pedal assist. And now let me speak about disadvantages of this bike and what I would change here. First of all, I would change the front chainring. This is 48 tooth. I would swap it to for instance 52, because you are enabled to pedal at the 26 miles an hour and still give some your own force propulsion to the bike. So at 26 miles an hour this bike will go by itself, though sometimes I would like to exercise, but you cannot. You have to spin pedals way too fast. So this is the one point. The second point is the battery. Power off bike, take the battery out. So what I would pay attention here, this distance supposed to be very rigid. The battery meant to stay here and connected on top, but in some cases this connection may become loose, and as you ride this battery may start rattle. I saw some bikes with this connector way too loose, and that causes when it disconnects, it fries those contacts here. As a result, you may ruin the battery. So make sure that when you plug the battery, it doesn't move, and you can hear that it shakes a little bit, but that's not critical. So this is the weak point that I would like to inform you. This bike goes for $2,100, and let me go through some bullet points that you need to look at. First of all is the battery capacity, second is the power output of the motor, but on top of that you need to look at if there are hydraulic brakes, if there is an anti-rotational device here, and look at the controller, how it's built. Well, basically that's it. The average price of the best quality and price would be roughly like $2,000 plus minus like $100 or $200. Also, I'm showing this bike instead of the mid-drive system because this motor is much more reliable. Mid-drive systems, you need to take a lot of attention to the drivetrain because you can split the chain. Just imagine that you're pedaling uphill, standing on the bike, and then chain rips and your foot just going down and you crash. You don't want it. So this system is much more reliable. It's not perfect. It has some plastic components inside, but those are very easy to replace. That's it. Thanks for watching. That was a Bike Tech. Bye bye.